So first off, I'm going to go over any cases that white is on the side and in the top layer. So that means that white can be either here, here, and it's of course in the top layer. I'll get to when white's on the top and when white's like down here. I'll get to that later. This is white on the side and in the top layer. So as we know, there are two cases which are very easy when these two stickers line up. So when I can just solve it like that. Or of course, when the pair is already solved in the top layer and I just lift the slot up and insert it. The next case. So here's your white corner and here is the other edge piece that it matches with. But we see if we try to insert it like that, it's flipped around. So what we need to do is bring this edge piece over here, right? Because orange, if we flip it over here, it'll line up to make a pair, right? So all we have to do is just bring the corner over so that when we move it down, we're using this empty slot, right? So bring it down, and now I can just move this edge piece around to the other side, so when I move it back up, it makes the pair. So when there's a pair that's positioned up here, that's like the edge piece is flipped the wrong way, it's really simple to fix. Just make sure when you move the corner piece down that you're bringing up an empty slot. So I've done my little check there, there's an empty slot. I'll bring it down. Now I can just rotate the edge piece to the back. So when I bring the corner piece back up, now it's set up like that, so I can insert it. So the next case is basically when you have this white piece on the top layer, right? White's on the side as usual, except the edge is already solved, or it's in the right spot but it's flipped around. Either way, the edge piece is where it needs to be, and the corner piece is still in the top layer. Just a note, guys, we can also apply this to a different spot. So let's say that the green and orange piece is beside the green and red centers. This still works the same way. So don't worry if your edge piece is not like exactly where it needs to be. When I say the edge piece is where it needs to be, I'm just saying that it's like already in the second layer. It doesn't matter if it's positioned with the correct centers or not. What we're going to do here is something a little bit clever. We're going to actually bring down the corner and we're going to bring up the edge at the same time. So how do we do this? Well, we have to have the corner and the edge on the same face. So what we're going to do is, how I said we're going to bring up the edge, we're going to use the slot where the edge is as our empty slot. So we're going to bring it up. If we have the corner on the same face as that, we can actually bring the corner down at the same time. So we bring our corner down and we've brought our edge up. Now there's one way that you can do it and it's wrong. We have the edge and the corner on the same face. There's the corner, there's the edge. And we bring our edge up and we brought the corner down. But hold on, remember how I said when you bring a corner down, it always has to be on the sides? When we've brought this corner down, it's now on the bottom. So always make sure, and here's a little check I do. On the face, I can see the edge and I can see white. So I know that's going to work when I bring the corner down and bring the edge up. But if I have it on the other way, that's wrong. I can see the edge, but I can't see white. So always make sure you can see the white sticker and the edge on the same face. So what we're going to do now is bring the edge up, right, and bring the corner down at the same time. So we're not affecting anything else but the slot with the edge in it. Now we can rotate it, this top layer, and we can rotate the edge wherever we need it to be. So we don't rotate it here, right? Because it's not going to solve when I bring the corner back up. We can see that this is a case where green is going to be on the back, and I bring the corner back up, green and green, there we go, it's set up. Now I can just insert the pair like that. Let's say the edge was solved, same thing. We do our check, white edge, okay, good. We turn the edge up, corner down, and now we can just rotate the face, and we see in this case, we can make actually a pair. And same thing, now we can just insert the pair like that. Okay, so this case right here is when we have white on the side, the white corner, and its edge piece right next to it, and they're both in the top layer. So, for this case right here, basically what we want to do is we want to bring the corner down and we want to move the edge off to one side, so once again we can solve it. So what we want to do is move the edge down, and this is one of the only times that you're going to move white so it's on the bottom. So this time, if we move white so it's on the side, we're going to bring the edge down with it. So this time we're going to actually bring white down on the bottom. Wow. So to bring white down on the bottom, we're going to have to find an empty slot. So this one's empty. So when we bring it down, now we can rotate the edge around, and we see if we just rotate it from here to right here, when we bring the corner back up, orange and orange, it's ready to be solved. So once again, all we've done is taken the corner down to the bottom, empty slot there. We've moved the edge off to one side and just brought it back, so this can be solved. However, there is a case where this won't work, and I'll show it to you right now. So let's say we try to bring the corner down and move the edge where it needs to be. And we see that, hold on, if this is where it needs to be a pair, right? Because if orange and orange, and if we bring it right here, orange and then green, not going to work, right? So this, we can tell it's not going to work because the colors will always be lined up on the top. Is position the pair so that the corner is right above where you want to solve, and move the pair away from where you want to solve it, and then swing the corner over one like this, so when you move it back, the orange is now lined up like that, so we can solve it like that. Okay, so the next few cases we'll be talking about are when white is on the top and it's in the top layer as well. Okay, so the first case when white's on the top is that you have your corner piece on your top layer and you have your edge piece also on the top layer, and the pieces aren't together. So the corner and the edge piece that you want to solve, they aren't in a pair. They're separate from one another. So here's our edge piece and here's our corner. They're separate. So here's the first case like that. What you want to do is look at the edge piece, and you want to line this side up with the center. So you want to make a bar like that. And once you've made the bar, you want to turn your edge piece away from the slot you're trying to solve. So you're trying to solve the green and orange slot. You want to turn the edge piece away from that slot, so you're bringing up that empty slot. After you've done that, you can take this corner piece right here and swivel it around so it matches up now with your edge piece. And after you've done that, you can bring it like what you've brought it up, right? So now you can bring it back down that layer, and now you've actually made the pair. So I'll show you how that works in another little thing too. So this is just the other way. So we see we have our white, blue and orange corner and our blue and orange edge. And they're separate. So we line our side up to make a bar, and we are solving for this slot right here. So we turn the edge away, we swivel the corner around to line up with the edge, we bring this back down, and now we've made a pair. Perfect. Okay, so the second case is that we have our white corner, white is facing up and it's on the top layer, as well as that edge piece right there is right alongside it. It's in a pair. Now, what you first want to do, again, is always line up your edge piece, line up the side center to make a bar. You'll notice this is kind of a reoccurring theme when you're doing the middle layer of the Rubik's Cube. Even in the beginner method we made a bar, so that should be ground into your mind by now. So after you've made the bar, you'll see that the corner is either directly above the slot that you're solving for, or the corner is off to another pair. So we're trying to solve for this slot right here. We've lined our edge up and the corner is off to the other side. So the case that will work the easiest is when you have the corner directly above the slot you're trying to solve for and you have your edge lined up. So what you're first going to do is you're going to bring up this empty slot again. So you're going to bring it up just like that, or you can think of it as turning this edge away, and you're going to rotate the top just 2 times. And when we bring this back down, we can see that magically we've hooked these 2 pieces up so that they're set up as a pair. So orange is going to join with orange. So this is a little, just is kind of a trick. Like, you can probably see how it works if you kind of go over it. You bring it away and the piece is right here, and as you move this around, it's already in a position so that when you move this piece back, orange and orange are lined up. It's just a little trick for F2L. You don't even have to memorize the algorithm. Just remember to make a bar, turn the edge away, and then rotate the top 2 times and bring it back. And you will have made yourself a little pair. So of course the last case, when white's on the top and it's in the top layer, is that the edge, you've lined it up, made a bar, and now the corner is in, like, it's not directly above where you want to solve. And this requires a little more manipulation so you can get it into like one of the cases we've talked about already. So remember how I said if a corner and an edge are not together and white's on the top, how we can do that thing where we line this, make a bar and then turn it away and do that and whatnot? Well, we're going to get it set up to that state. So all we have to do is turn a white corner down and turn it up, and it'll still remain in the same, like white will still be on top, right? So if we turn it down like that, we can still see that white's on the side. If we turn it down like that, we can see we're bringing up this empty slot, right? So we turn it down, and now we can move the edge around wherever. Make sure to move it to like one of those 2 positions, because when you move this back up, we don't want it to be right there, and we definitely don't want it to be right there, because when we turn it up, it's going to knock it. So either have it like right there, so when you turn it up, now the corner and the edge are like they're not together, and we can line the edge up, turn it away from where we're solving, line the corner and the edge up, turn it back, and there's the pair. Here's the case when white's on top, right? But the edge is unsolved and it's in its right spot. Well, this can also apply to if the edge is just in like some wrong spot like this, and white's on the top layer, but when you line them up, you see that they're a pair, like that. All we have to do is just move this slot up, and you can see that now it's a pair in the upper layer. All we have to do is get it out of the way and move it back, and now it'll be a pair in the upper layer like that. Very simple. When we position the corner above the edge that's solved, and it's not aligned, then all we have to do is just move the corner off to either side, doesn't matter which, and we're going to set it up like the other case I just showed you. You're going to move the empty slot up, and now you're just going to make sure that these 2 pieces remain unharmed. They're right here. So when I move it back, they're going to stay. And now you can see that white's on the top, and they're disjointed, so we can just line it up and do our little trick there. Now I'm going to get to the cases where white is in the bottom layer and white is on the side. So these aren't very hard at all, actually. All you have to do in essence is bring the corner up and join it with whatever edge is going to be right there. And of course we're not going to bring it up that way, because then white's going to be on the top, and we don't want that. So we're always going to bring it up, so white's going to be on the side, and we're just going to join the corner with whatever edge piece is right there. So first we have to find the orange and green piece, and there it is. So I bring it up, but wait a second, it doesn't form a pair. And of course we see that this is because the edge is in the orientation where it's going to be the case where the corner and edge are opposite each other. So we position the edge in the back, so when we bring the corner up, now they're set up, right? Remember though, we still have to bring this face, like this face right here, we have to bring it back down after we've moved our corner up. So whatever pieces are going to be right there are going to be brought back down. So we see these are two pieces that we've now lined up, these two. So you see the only three pieces that we can position like back here, so these aren't affected, are right there, because if we have these, the edge is going to be brought back down. If we have these three, the corner's going to be brought back down. If we have these three, you get the point, right? So these are the pieces we're worried about, and they've been preserved, and we're back to normal there. So now we have the pair set up, and we can insert it like that. So if we bring our corner up, and the orange and green piece is right here, we can see that if we bring it up, we just make a pair like that. And then we can move the pair out of the way, so that when we bring this face back, it's not going to affect the pair. So now we have it in the top layer, and we know what to do from there. So this is kind of a weird case when white's in the bottom layer and white's on the side. Basically, the edge piece is also in there with it. It doesn't matter if the edge piece is like this or if the edge piece is solved. All you have to do is just take the pair out, either way. So I can take it out like this, or I can take it out like that. And then it's in the top layer, and it'll be like I've already learned the ways to do this. So yeah. So the first weird case that we're going to look at is when white is solved, but it's in the wrong spot. The white corner is solved, I mean, and it's in the wrong spot. And the edge is kind of on this top layer right here. So we see that there it is right there. Before we did in the beginner's method is we took it out, and then we just put it in this spot right here. But in this tutorial, we're going to do it like this. We can see that this orange sticker is right here, and this orange sticker is right here for this piece. We know that if the stickers, if the orange sticker is right here and this orange sticker is right here, if we bring them, the orange stickers will be together. Just pretend that this is orange. So if we could somehow manage to get an orange sticker right here of this piece, then we could solve it. Do you see where I'm kind of going with this? So if we turn this piece up, we can see, oh, these are now a lined up pair. So if we rotate it off this way, and we bring this back down, these are now a lined up pair, and they're ready to be solved like that. And lastly, let's say that the corner's solved, but the edge is flipped around. So in the beginner's method, we would have had to do an algorithm just to get the piece out, and then another algorithm just to get it back in. Now we know that, hey, we can just take this pair out like that. Or hey, we can just take this pair out like that. And now we're left with one of our first two cases. I'm just going to do this case so it's a bit easier. Now we know exactly what to do because we went over this in the beginning. Remember how we have to bring the corner down and then flip this edge piece to the other side? So we bring the corner piece down using this empty slot. So we bring it down, white's on the side, good. We flip the edge around and back. Perfect. Now we have the edge where we can put it in and the edge is flipped the right way. So see how far we've come? F2L really helps you understand just how your cube works, basically. Like, without doing any algorithms, we kind of learn how pieces move around the cube and how to manipulate stuff in order to solve it a lot faster. So this last case right here is going to show you how far we've come since we've started. So in the beginner's method, to solve the second layer, we needed to know two algorithms, right? We need to know one that moved this edge piece to the left, and of course we needed to know the other which moved it to the right. But we see here that in the beginner's method, we would have done our algorithm that moved it to the left. So we would have gone like, and we said, wow, that worked. I'm actually going to show you how it works now. So ignore that. So we lined the centers up, right? And we moved this piece off to this side. And then we moved the left side up, right? So you can already see that we have the pieces set up in a position where they could be solved. Now, this algorithm does it a different way. I would have kind of gone like this and then moved it back. But this algorithm actually moves the top layer like this and joins them like that. So then it moves the pieces, it sets the pair up like that, and when you're doing your front move, you're actually bringing the slot up like that so you can insert the pair. And when you're doing the other front move, you're moving it back. So the last three moves are just you inserting the pair like that. So all it's done is just combined what we've learned in this video and just kind of put it into a moveset that's easy for beginners. So if you're comfortable with these little algorithms, I would totally do it. Like, just keep doing it. If you ever come across a case where you find that an edge, like you need to do the algorithm, just do it. So, alright, that's it for F2L. Now let's move on to OLL. And OLL is orientation of the last layer. And this is basically what we did in the beginner's method, just putting yellow on top. But for the intermediate method, we're going to learn a few more algorithms. The two that you're going to always use, though, in the intermediate method are the hook and the cross little movesets. So, of course, this is the hook. So we know to solve the hook, we did this little moveset, and we solved it. And then for the bar, we had done the other one. We're always going to do that in the intermediate method. Never, just always make the cross the way you usually would, like a beginner. Next, though, we had only memorized one moveset to do the corners, and that had been our little one where we had the front right yellow corner, yellow facing us, and we did this little moveset, and it solved it. But remember how we had to do it more than once, and sometimes it was kind of frustrating to figure out where I had to keep the yellow corners? Well, if you go on your good friend Goggle, you can type, oh my god, stupid Goggle. You can type in OLL algs, or OLL algorithms. And the first link that comes up is Bob Burton's Rubik's Cube page. So you can click this page right here, and he'll have this huge, massive list of cases that you can have for the layer. And I'll show you what all this means. So you can see kind of right there, I'll zoom in, you see those little yellow lines? Those are basically the way the stickers are facing. And he has some crazy notation right here. He says M, but of course you can understand most of it. You know that R is R clockwise, U is U clockwise, R with an apostrophe, that's R counterclockwise, and so on and so forth. You don't need to know any of those, because we just did the hook and the cross, right? These are the ones you want to memorize. From 4 all the way down to, I think, yeah, 4 till 10. So that's six new movesets. Basically, he'll say R2, D, R, U2. So they're very easy to follow along with. And these will make you much faster, because you'll see like a case that we have right now. I'm just gonna bring my cube back into the frame. So the case that we have right now, we would position our piece in the bottom left like we would in the beginner tutorial. And oh well, we would have to do the moveset twice for the beginner tutorial. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look on Bob's page, and he's going to show us, oh, you have to hold the cube like this and do this moveset, or something like that. And it's going to solve it just in one go like that. One thing to watch out for, this dude likes to use a lot of M's, and basically M just means your middle layer. So without rotating your R or your L, it's the one in between. So this would be your M layer, this one right here. So when he says an M2, just M2. And when it says like M counterclockwise, he's looking at it from the left. So counterclockwise would be like going up, like that, because it's spinning counterclockwise. And clockwise would be like that. And another thing to watch out for, he'll say like RW. RW just means two layers. So think of it like R side, W. And clockwise would just be the same. LW would be like that. UW would be like that. And that's basically it. It's the same thing for PLL. It's just permuting the last layer. It all depends on how much work you want to put into memorizing these things. So just search PLL algorithms on Google and click the first link that comes up. So you can skip PLL if you want, but PLL is really helpful, and if you memorize all the movesets, it takes a little bit of time, but it'll make you like a lot faster, like up to 20 or 30 seconds, maybe even more faster. So I would really recommend trying to memorize all these movesets. It is kind of daunting, and I had to print off a sheet and kind of just go over it in my spare time, but if you're pretty serious into like getting into speed cubing, then definitely this is the next step. So in a case like this, in the beginner's method, we would like do the corners first, and then we'd have to do the edges after. In PLL, all we would have to do is just one moveset, and boom, there we go, it's solved. So it's pretty good. So it's the same layout as OLL, and it just shows like where pieces need to be moved. So for this one, just 3 corners would need to be swapped around. The edges are all solved, obviously. And this one, obviously the 2 corners need to be swapped. In total, I think there is, let's see what we got here, 21 different move sets. Wow, hey? And you'll actually recognize one of them. So this is the move set that's just rewritten. But you'll be very familiar with it, and all we're doing is just swapping those corners. So you'll be familiar with that, and you'll also be familiar with these two, because I think I copied those like exactly for the first tutorial, because I found those really easy to learn. So you'll recognize like 3 of them. And if you don't understand any of the letters he uses, you can always go to his notation page right here, and he'll have like a full explanation of everything that he uses. Alright, so that's it for my intermediate method tutorial. If you guys have any questions, just leave a comment below, and yeah, thanks for watching, really means a lot to me. Maybe I'll make an advanced video later, you never know, if I have the time, because these videos take a long time to upload. Like in HD, a 30-minute video could take like, I don't know, like all night at least. So anyway, thanks for watching, see you guys later.